There's been an odd optimistic feel down in Talent Energy for the Union faithful, as there is a new sense of confidence within the fan base and within the club as well. And the tough stretch of matches continue for the Union as another quality Western Conference foe came in. The question is, would the Union be able to make a statement against the Portland Timbers who are coming into town? We will discuss that as we review the Union versus the Timbers match here on DOOP By The River. And that's coming up next. Dale! And welcome everyone to DOOP By The River, the show where we follow everything Philadelphia Union with me, at Parcero Philly. Now before we start off this episode, I want to discuss something a little bit off topic. Today we are rocking the Gaucho t-shirt. Shout out to IFTV. And for anyone who's been following my channel since my rebirth in the soccer movement back in February, you would know I started a Napoli show called Donkey Stable. Now, as you all can tell, I have been steering away from Napoli as I've been covering heavily with the Philadelphia Union. And it's not for a lack of interest from me, as I am fully invested in Napoli, but more so a lack of quality. I'm a more recent Napoli fan, and my knowledge of Serie A is not the best. I felt like it wasn't fair to make a show about Napoli when my knowledge for the Calcio game is not the best. Napoli's season came to an end yesterday as they lost 3-2 to Bologna, and Serie A play will end today on Sunday, as well as most of the other leagues around Europe, which got me thinking. My goal and my plan with this channel is to bring soccer relevance to my city of Philadelphia. So I'm going to do different things in order to achieve that goal. I'll be coming out with an announcement in the next 2 weeks about my further plans of making soccer big here in Philadelphia. So stay tuned to the announcement, guys, because you are going to like what I'm coming out with. But on to the show. So Saturday night, the Philadelphia Union hosted the Portland Timbers at Talent Energy. After the disappointing draw last week in Seattle, they would face another Cascadia club in the Portland Timbers. And like we discussed in the preview video, Portland is coming off a mediocre start to the season and have been on a long road trip. And to finish off this last road trip, they would face us. Of course, our history against the Portland Timbers has not been the best, as we haven't beaten Portland since 2015. There's a new sense of positivity here in Philadelphia now. The Posidelphia mentality. There was belief that we could come in at home and beat this quality team. But unfortunately, it was a night to forget. Now, as far as the tactics and lineups go for this team, Jim Kirchner stuck with the 4-4-2 diamond, but changed it to the 4-2-3-1 in the second half, like we've seen a lot this season. And starting at goal, our goalie, our Jamaican, Andre Blake, got another start, and unfortunately would not get much help as 3 goals went by him. But we cannot put much of the blame here on Andre Blake. All 3 of those goals were tricky shots to stop. And starting in our back 4, starting from left to right, Kai Wagner, Austin Trusty, Jack Elliott, and Ray Gaddis. The same back 4, and these back 4 have been a strong force for us all season long. However, they had probably their worst match all season against Portland. 2 out of the 3 goals will be pinned on this back 4. Portland knew we love to attack with our fullbacks, and they cover a lot of ground. So Portland took advantage of that, attacking from out wide in those areas where the fullbacks leave ground. And on the first goal, that's where it bit us the most. Kai Wagner and Ray Gaddis would have a tough time in this match, and both our center backs got picked on heavy. Jack Elliott, we just mentioned, he was all over the Union news this week as he signed the extension. He got picked on heavy in this match. Austin Trusty would also be made a fool a couple times in this match as well. This is a group that's going to have to turn it around and bounce back Wednesday. Not the best match by our back 4. An achievement was unlocked as Mishi Galina came in late in the second half for Ray Gaddis, giving us a 3-back set. He saw a couple minutes, but that was huge for him to see first team minutes. In our midfield, starting from left to right, we had Jamiro Monteiro. At the 6th position, Harrison Dunian. At the right shuttle midfielder, our captain Alejandro Bedoya. And at the tip of the diamond, we saw Brandon Aronson get another starting again. Midfield as well had a match to forget. Everyone in the midfield had a mistake and weren't the club that we usually see. Jamiro Monteiro would be the victim of the first goal, as Diego Chara showed him what the best central defensive midfielder in MLS looks like. Harrison Dunian was caught sleeping as well on some defensive sets. Alejandro Bedoya, our captain, has been great this season, but this was was also a match for him to forget, and probably he will be frustrated with as well. He was the victim on the second goal as he had an uncharacteristic slip, and Brandon Aronson is starting to get figured out. Teams know he's 18, still growing in his own body, and they have been getting super physical with him, and Portland was no exception. Brandon's going to have to learn how to adjust with this physicality. And like Jim Kirchner said, he went up against the best central defensive midfielder in MLS. So definitely was a learning curve for him. Now, Alcino would come in the second half for Brandon Aronson. That's when we would switch to 4-2-3-1, and we saw a much better attack from the Union. And we have to wonder when we will see Marco Fabian back. We could have absolutely used him in this match. And up top, Jim Kirchner went with Kasper Shabilko and Fafa Pico as our two forwards for this match. Both these guys had plenty of opportunities, and Kasper would get the lone goal for the Union in this match, but he should have had a second goal as he was super close late in the second half to get a second goal for us, which would have tied this match. And I don't think we should shy away from Kasper going forward. He's had some of the better shots on this team. Sergio Santos Gomes will come in the second half as well. Jim would try to use his speed and his size to get a goal to tie it up, but he wouldn't do much either. Sergio Santos Gomes will come in the second half for Fafa Pico. Jim wanted to use his size and speed to try to get some goals, but unfortunately he wouldn't be effective in this match either. This match, however, would start in our favor. It was a back and forth battle, and we looked like the better team. But after 20 minutes, Gio Savarese's club would settle down and would start their ferocious counterattacks. For the Union, this would be the first time they've seen a counterattack this potent all season long. Diego Chara was all over the midfield. There was nothing stopping my Colombian. And if you didn't know Portland's new DP Brian Fernandez, you did after this match. Got the first goal in the 31st minute, slipping right behind Jack Elliott to head in a crosser right past Andre Blake to get the 1-0 goal for Portland. A couple minutes later, in the 36th minute, Portland continued the high press and got another turnover from an uncharacteristic mistake by our captain Alejandro Bedoya. Portland quickly transitioned, played a little ticky-tack on our Union defense, and Brian Fernandez would nail in his second goal to put the Timbers up 2-0. At this point, the Union were shaken. They did not expect this to happen, and they looked like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off. At the halftime, Jim Kirchner definitely had to get out his voice. In the second, Jim made a couple substitutions and a formation change as they went from the 4-4-2 diamond to the 4-2-3-1. And in came Alcino, and then there was a spark of attack. In the 47th minute, Kasper Shabilko would squeak a goal past the Timbers to cut the Timbers' lead by 1. And for 30 minutes, the Union would continue chipping and attacking away. Portland put it away in the 87th minute as Diego Valeri had a nice corner shot that took a bounce into the right bottom corner of the net to put this match away and give the Timbers the 3-1 victory away. Now for the Union, this is the first loss since their LA Galaxy loss back on April 13th. This was a heartbreaking loss. This is a loss that we haven't seen since the first match against Toronto. At the end of the day, there was just too many costly mistakes by different guys that we didn't expect it from on this team, and Portland came prepared. They look like they are in mid-season form. I completely understand how frustrating it is. The Union constantly every season looking like a USL team every time we play the Western Conference contenders. Whether it's LA Galaxy, LAFC, Portland Timbers, Seattle Sounders. Despite this difficult result, the Union have to bounce back this week as we have 3 matches in 7 days. On Wednesday night, we welcome the Colorado Rapids, who have been looking like a different club since the firing of their manager, Anthony Hudson, and have reeled off back-to-back wins against quality opponents. And when we look at the stat sheet for this match, again, just like last week, the Union had more shots than the opposing team. The difference is, this week they had 18 shots with 5 on target and 63% percentage of possession, while Portland had 9 shots, 7 on target with 37% possession, which tells you that Portland was effective with the little amount of chances that they had. That can't happen ever. And when we look at the standings, things get even worse for us. In first place, DC United have regained that first place from us as they drew against New England and we dropped points against Portland. They have 25 points, the Union have 24, and in third place, don't look now, but that energy drink team up in North Jersey has crawled back up to third place in the East with 21 points. Right with them is Montreal with 21. Atlanta has been cooling off after their hot streak. They are in 5th place with 20 points. NYCFC is still hanging out near the bottom of the Eastern Conference playoff picture with 19 points. And still tied at that last spot is Toronto FC with 17, and Chicago Fire have 17 points as well. Although this was a difficult result and the energy drink team from North Jersey is right behind us, we have to remain positive, guys. The Posidelphian mentality has to continue. We cannot revert and think back to previous seasons. This is a new Union team. We're heading into our new decade. Match preview for the Colorado Rapids will be up probably Tuesday, so be ready for that. But guys, those are my thoughts on this match against Portland. In the comments below, let me know what you guys think about this match. How heartbroken do you feel? How upset do you feel? But of course, help me grow soccer here in Philadelphia by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting that bell button to get those notifications. But as always, my Tuperos, DOOP on.